or to use some information that is privy to you but not to them, and things like that. There is often miscommunication, which causes misunderstandings, and misunderstandings within a business can ruin everything. Welcome everyone to another session of OPM Tools Tuesday workshop session. You have Coven Powell and me, Mustafa Shahid, and we are going to go over. All right, so starting on. Today we have effective task and team management with OPM tools and how to use the software in order to distribute the task, manage the nodes, and to collaborate with your team members in an effective manner. So, OPM Tools is a powerful CRM platform with integrated features that can streamline your team's tasks and projects. This presentation explores how to manage your task, collaborate effectively, and maintain a productive workspace within the OPM tools. So moving forward. All right, so OPM tools, there are some CRM features which I want to mention. The first one is the contact management, in which you'll have the task, the notes, the internal comments. Then you have the automations, in which we build out entire processes, and there has been some new updates within it that I would like to mention or show at the appropriate time. And then finally, we'll have user roles and permissions, which will be probably in the last. So starting from the first one, how to manage a task within the OPM tools. So, and what features do you have? You have the task creation. You can add a title, a description. You can add a due date. You can make it a recurrent task. So for example, if you have the same task over and over again for the foreseeable future, for example, it could be something like reach out to this person, complete your calls, do this, do that, whatever it is. You can utilize the recurrent task button and make one task to happen every day, to be assigned to a contact every day. You can assign the task to any user within the sub account or within your account, and you can associate that task to a particular contact. So for example, if you're working off on a business called ABC, I hope that's not a real business, but if you're working on a business called ABC, you can assign that contact with an assignee or with a user within the software and add a task so that the user would know which contact is this task associated with. And then you can set up a deadline so that they know how urgent this is or how much time do they have before they have to complete it. Then within the creating and assigning task, as I mentioned, you have the task details, the title, the description, the due dates, and you can assign it to any team member. Then you have the utilizing the notes for the team collaboration. So within the contact page of any particular contact, you have this button, which is for the task assignment. This is where you can add notes. And within the notes, you can add anything that you want for your own self or for someone else if they visit the contact. So for example, if you had a sales call with someone, they said something interesting and you want to save that, you can just add it over a note here. Because the usual way or the one way that we've seen people do is they have a specific field, a custom field for each and everything. And over time, it becomes very hectic to have all those custom fields. So for example, if this is a potential client, if there's a current client, where are they located? If they have something updates to their business, they add that all in the contact fields. But the best way to do that is just to add a note. So whenever someone visits that contact, they can just click on this particular icon and check if they have any notes. If they do, they'll know what it is about and what the conversation has been going on and whatever other things that they want to share with their other team members or for themselves. So the things that you can add are the contact notes, adding notes to individual contact profiles to record important information, conversations, or updates. You can add notes regarding the deals, some document key discussions, milestone strategies, or you can even add team notes to share general notes for the team, such as project updates, reminders, or important announcements. Moving on to the part which is my favorite. All right, so in the new feature, you can now leverage internal comments in the contacts. So when you click on a contact, on the bottom, you'll find something which says internal comment. And over there, all you need to do is write out the comment, as we do on Facebook or Instagram or any social media, even on WhatsApp. Write your message, press shift 2, or it could be something different in your laptop, but it's the @ sign, this one, and it will show all the users that you have within your account, and you can tag them. And this is useful. The reason I'm pausing over here and emphasizing on this is, if you have a team which needs to update the manager for every call that they made, or every project update, or every status update, they don't need to send in an email or poke the manager every time. All they need to do is, once they've completed the conversation, they enter an internal comment, they tag the person, and that person will receive the notification on their software interface, or when they open the software, they'll have the bell icon, as Coven will show you in just a moment, and they can tag them. It will streamline the entire operations, and no one will have any excuses. And by no one, I mean the team members will have no excuses by saying, "Oh, I forgot," or "Oh, I missed out on this," or they say to the manager, "Oh, I tagged you in this, but I think you didn't see my email, or you didn't see my message," because now that is not possible, because all a manager will have to do is open the system, click on the notification, and check how many places has he or she has been tagged, and he clicks on his notification, goes to the contact page, and check what the update is. Simple as that. So, Coben, would you like to show the contact pages, the tasks, the notes, and the internal comments?
So what Mustafa was talking about, if we go to our contacts tab within our sub account, let's just choose a random contact that we want to use as an example. If we go to their contact page and go to the right hand side over here and click on tasks, you are able to add a task to a selected user. Here you can add the title, the description, and it'll automatically add the due date, and whether or not you want to make it reoccurring as well. Here you assign it manually. Let's say we want to do myself here. And the contact is already filled in because we are on their page, but you can do so outside the contacts page as well. Hit save. It just takes this moment. Now hit save. And there we have our first task made. Next, we can also see that there's a notes tab right here as well, where we can add a few notes about the client. Very simple, just type in the description, hit send, hit add, and there you go. Next, you can also make an internal comment that is visible to only internal users and will not be seen by the mentioned user. So let's say test 4 at Mustafa Shahid. Hit send, and it will show up here in the previous messages, but it will not be visible to the user as well. So yeah, am I missing anything, Mustafa?
No, if you can just click on the top bell icon on the top right hand part, right next to your face and the question mark. Yep. Just click on that. So when you have a new notification, this is where the manager will have to go in order to check how many places has he or she been tagged. Simple as that. So your entire team can work off on different contacts, add an internal comment, tag the manager or the reporting manager, and that's it.
It would also send you. Oh,
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it also sends an internal notification through the OPM app as well.
Yep. So that's all you have to do. So that was the first part of the presentation. Moving on to the second, which is when you're building out processes, you have a lot of different processes, and all of those processes and those features are connected through automations. And by now, everyone understands how powerful automations are. And for people who are not using this particular software and are using different softwares, they connect their multiple softwares by third-party apps called Zapier, Make, but we have that particular feature within the app itself, the workflows or the automations. And what would happen if multiple people are trying to work on the same automation? So I know some of our users or some of the people we have working with us, they like to work on workflows and automations to build out entire systems. What would happen if me and Oren or me and Coven start working on the same workflow without knowing what that workflow is for? I mean, how much information can I put in one title, right? So that's where we have the second part, the workflow notes and the process documentation. So as you can see on your screen, on the left hand side, you can add a workflow note where you can describe in detail what this workflow is for, what it's achieving, what you are trying to make, what it's supposed to do, and everything like that. You can also use sticky notes within the workflow to categorize the steps. So this part is doing this part is doing that. And when you add an action in the automations, you can assign a note to each action item. So for example, if the action is to assign to a user, if this happens, assign it to a user, you can add a note to it and tell why I'm assigning it to a user. Because some of the workflows, when I create workflows, it usually takes a lot of time. It takes more than a day sometimes. So when I'm working on big automations and trying to consolidate all that ideas onto one place, me and Oren switch back and forth to finish the job and to have proper communication between us. This is one of the things that we can utilize in order to prevent misunderstandings and make sure that we are headed towards the same direction, achieving the same goal. So yeah, that's a one new fun feature that I personally use or I want to use a lot. Yep. Cohen, would you like showing this on the software as well?
Yep.
All right, let me stop sharing for now.
So going to the automations tab within the sub account, let's just click on one of the new workflows. Yep. And if you see on the left-hand side, there's going to be three icons. Last time we talked about the stance view. This time we're going to be talking about the notes and sticky notes. So here on the notes, you can add notes for other users to see. Be a little bit more organized than the sticky notes that you see right here. So here we can type in whatever we want. Test. And after making your note, you do have to hit save on the top right, same as you would with any action or trigger. And for action notes, you can click on the three dots on an action, click on notes, type a message, hit add. Let's close this and open it up. Nope. Hit save. Well, it should show up over here, but here we can see on the notes next to the action that we see both test messages made. Down here on the sticky notes, you can click on any of the colors that you would like. Let's choose purple. And you can bring up any type of sticky note that you want to grab the attention of any other user that is going to make any adjustments or changes to the workflow, just in case it's a big project and you want to fine tune it to the best of your ability. But yeah, I believe that is it. Am I missing anything, Mustafa?
Nope, just a personal recommendation. If I'm the person working on a workflow, I'll use the sticky note to say, do not touch this. This is mine. I'm working on this. Stay away from it. Don't mess it up. Some sort of a disclaimer that I can't add it on the title because I need the title to remind me what I'm making. So I would add a sticky note to keep other people away from it. So yeah, but everyone has their own understanding on how to utilize these sticky notes and the note section in order to enhance the team building and the team management, because miscommunication can easily cause misunderstandings. And when you're working on a business, misunderstandings can mostly lead to a monetary loss. So yeah, try not to do that. Now moving to the third part. Coven, I'm going to start presenting my screen once again. Now, this is something which is more of a managerial, I'll say, yeah. All right. So it's more of a managerial perspective, or something that a manager needs to do, or the owner, the account owner, or the business owner needs to do. And what we are going to show you is how you can utilize the user roles and the role permissions on a more micro level. So I'm just waiting for my presentation to show up. Cohen, can you let me know when the presentation? It's visible? Perfect. All right. So when you're setting up a user role and permission, you always have a hierarchy. So obviously the first person is the administrator. It's someone who has complete access to the account. It could be the admin or the owner of the account, but within the software, it's called administrator. If you have multiple accounts, for example, if you have multiple location or multiple branches, this would be the person who's either the CEO or the entire owner and would need the admin access to move from one account to another. Now, the manager is someone who will also have somewhat as the admin access or the user access, but within all the specific features. Um, so for example, if you have a manager within a sales team, that person will have access to all the sales team's data as well as the sales team's features. And when you're working with a particular when you're working as a particular team member, for example, if you're working in the content department, you would have access to the social planner but not to the workflows or automations or things like that. If you're working in the sales team, you don't need access to the workflows or the social planner or the reportings and the analytics. You just need to your own assigned data. You just need access to the power dialer and things like that. So why do we restrict access? It's because two reasons. One, people are curious to roam around the app and we don't want them to do that. We want them to be focused on their work and that's it. Number two, to prevent any confusions or to prevent any mishaps. If someone else visits my account or visits the things that I'm working on and mess that up, it would make me furious and it would cause disturbance in my work, and overall it would cause a disturbance in the overall work of the company. So in order to prevent mishaps like that, like those, you need to restrict the access of your individual team members so that they focus only on the work that they're allowed to do or they're supposed to do. This is how, by using the notes, the task, the internal comments, and using the workflow notes and using the roles permissions, you can ensure that you're making a workspace in which collaboration, number one, is at the highest utmost priority, and secondly, by utilizing the roles and permissions and setting up user roles, you're ensuring that no one is messing around in an area where they're not supposed to be. So Cohen would be showing you how to manage the user roles and permissions, but yeah, that's what today's presentation is for. So over to you, Cohen.
If we go to our sub account and click on the settings and then go to my staff, we will be shown a list of all of our employees for this company. Let's just choose me, for example, and next we want to hit the edit icon right here. Then click on roles and permissions. Here you can adjust all the permissions and roles that you can have for a certain employee, whether you want them to be strictly for automation or you want them to manage blogs, calendars, and so on. You can also choose to make them a user and admin, and you can make it to where they can only see assigned data as well instead of all records. I believe that is everything. Am I missing out on anything, Mustafa?
Nope, not exactly. You're not missing out on anything. But one thing that I would like to emphasize on, that using where Cohen showed you where you can access whether the person or the team member has access to all records or the assigned data, that is very important. Because if you choose the only assigned data, that person will see only those leads which are assigned to him within the software. So you need to make sure that that person has been assigned to those contacts. So yeah, that is it. Even though this presentation has been small, but this is a very important topic that most people either miss out on or they don't either consider it that important when building out their systems. So yep. Does anyone has any questions related to team collaborations or task management, team management, or how to do within the software itself?
I do know that, Michael, that you were asking about how to better manage your team last week. Has this helped you any with those
Yeah, no,
questions?
it's great. I see all types of opportunities for us to be able to use it. The workflow is the workflow for just project management. So in general, as you're working from a thought or a concept, is that where you go in and begin the workflow? Yeah, that there. Is that just for like if we're trying to go from a start to finish, it's a good place to kind of manage the work for everybody to follow? Is that what I'm understanding?
Workflows and automations are basically to connect to, if there's any task which is either repetitive or it's something that you want the system to do, you can connect those different features or assets together. So for example, when a contact has been added, when regarding a pipeline, a sales funnel, to accurately describe workflows and automations, it would be as simple as, if you want the system to do something for you, the system can do it for you.
That's awesome.
Any
That's
type
the,
of repetitive task, you can make it into a workflow or automation. So,
yep.
like, for example, say that contact has been added or contact has been created. Within it has the tag, let's just say affiliate, and say that. We can make it to where that contact will automatically be assigned to a specific user, and so that you don't have to do it manually. It'll do it on the system will do it automatically for you. And this can basically be done for any repetitive task that you can think of. You
and the
just have
best
to build it out.
And the best way for me to explain to someone what automations and workflows are by actually showing them is to tell them to go within the automations tab, start from scratch, click on where it says add new trigger, and just check out all the options that they have. So if you click on Oren, if you go in, if you can click on add new trigger on
Hmm.
your screen, and now just go down the list slowly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have note added, task completed, call statuses, email events, this, that. It The triggers are, if this happens, the automation will start. And this is just the triggers. If Cohen clicks on the plus button and shows you the actions, that is an entirely different list. So yep, this is the actions. So if the trigger happens, this would happen. Send out an email, send out a DM, send out this, do that, update the opportunity status, conditional formatting, mathematic operations, for example. The list is endless. Even, and I'll be very honest, even I haven't completely used those automations so far. I've only done around 20% of the available, the options which are available within the automations. I've only been able to cover 20% of that, and that's
And
a big
there's,
number I'm trying to attach to myself.
yeah, and there's even more actions and triggers being added every few months or so.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome.
But for the team management, when it comes to team management and team collaboration, the one thing that I would like to specify on, if you can open that page, also the contact page, Cohen, use the internal comments. Tell your team to use the internal comments whenever they're working on a contact, and tag other people, tag the manager, things like that. Task, the task assignment is for when a manager wants to assign a task to someone based on the contacts, and notes would be something that's more general that everyone needs to know about. But using the internal comments, you can immediately notify whomever you want to notify about whatever you want to notify them about. So if you're running a sales team and you want to be and the team member wants your attention on a person that they're working on, they don't need to call you or email you, they can just tag you to get your answer about that. Things like that. If they want you to take over the conversation for them, they just tag you and say that this is what I've achieved. I think this is something that you need to take forward. If you're working on sales, if you're working on promotions, seasonal discounts, whatever, use the internal comment. This is a new feature, and this is honestly very powerful if we get to use it completely. Apart from that, if you want to learn more about the software, keep visiting us on these Tuesday workshops, or you can click on the support knowledge base. Cohen, would you like to show that? Yep.
Yeah. Like what Mustafa was saying, within each sub account, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see the support knowledge base. This basically has articles for all types of things that you may have questions about our software. You can merely search for anything. You can also use the message icon on the top right of the page. Normally there's like a little message thing right here, but here we have the support knowledge base in just a smaller format. And here you have access to our 24/7 live service where you can contact us at any time. It's not here on this sub account, but it will be available to you all. And if you feel like your situation or problem is a little too unique, you can always use the submit request, which is right above the support knowledge base. And here, if you fill out all the fields, you can tell us what you are having issues with and schedule a meeting with us, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Now, apart from that, do you have any more questions, Mr. Michael? Seriously?
No, it's good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for